Where's your snap?
I snapped. I did it all.
She did it all.
We're back. Broker's Disclosure episode 4.
Episode 4.
No special guests this time. It's just us.
It's
wah,
just,
wah,
oh,
wah.
that stinks.
But hey, Brooklyn has not had her baby yet.
I'm still here.
She's still here, and Lucy's still here.
So that's good, I guess.
No, she gets it. I'm done.
How have showings been going for you?
They're fine. I had a guy yesterday. I showed a house, and he said, "Are you as you appear to be, or do you really like beer and pizza?" And I said,
Did he really say that? Oh my God.
You were like both, but I've been 9 months without one.
Yeah.
So
That's like something Drunk Mac would say, and
It
then
wasn't-
hope, oh my God, I hope
No,
she is
I think
pregnant.
that's cute that you think only Drunk Mac would say that, because that's definitely, that would so be.
Yeah, I wasn't offended by it. I looked very pregnant in my outfit, but it was fine. But yeah, he was like, "Are you as you appear to be?" And I was like, "I
But
am."
what if you weren't pregnant? Like, he's really
Well,
going out on a limb there.
Yeah.
Because he could have got smacked.
Yeah, that would. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I would try not to venture or go out and die on that
Say
hill.
anything. You don't try and say anything to a pregnant lady unless she says something about being pregnant, and then it's okay to talk to it, because you don't ever want to try to offend anyone.
Yeah, you
That's
never know.
scary. He was very bold.
Yeah, but I was like both.
So,
Depending on how close you were to him, you were like, I might deck him.
Yeah.
yeah, well, yeah.
No, it was totally fine.
Well, I'm glad. Good for him.
Yeah,
Wait
people are still calling me, and I'm still showing, and I'm like, hopefully my water doesn't break in this house.
That would be
Does
bad.
it take you a little bit longer to
No.
get on up there to
No.
the house?
No.
Can
Are
you,
you- should
can
we
you
try
sign on the
and
dotted line and drive me to the hospital?
I always we make a joke like, I don't know, you have like some kind of water leak or something in the kitchen, but yeah, anyway, they don't want to buy the house. Okay, gotta go.
And it's in a really awkward
check
place.
that out. Awkward talking.
So I think today we have a unique topic. Lack of housing in
Yes.
rural Missouri, or in our area, I guess, which is pretty
Yeah.
much rural Missouri,
Yeah.
northwest Missouri. We
Yeah.
do have a lack of housing, and let's talk about it in Chillicothe, Megan.
Okay.
Just point out. I'll just make it happen.
Well, yeah. So as property manager, and then working with lots of investors and stuff too, I don't really advertise it. Like, hey, don't call me looking for a rental. I have nothing available right now. But
Can we drop your phone number right
Yeah,
now?
no.
She's saying it now. Do not call her.
I do not. Well, and here's the thing. I don't advertise that I manage rentals. I don't advertise, call me if you're looking for something to
We
rent.
advertise for you.
Yeah,
We do.
Yeah, I know. It's,
Call Megan.
Because they
I don't
ask
have
us,
one.
and we're
Call
like, call
Megan."
Megan.
Yes.
but I am getting calls literally every single day, and some days multiple calls per day of people looking for something to rent.
And I don't think it's just you. Like, we get them
Yeah.
too,
Right.
like
Yeah.
almost every day.
It is crazy, and I don't know, I don't know why exactly. I mean, I'm guessing, and Livingston County specifically, Chillicothe is going to be your biggest city in
Yeah.
Livingston County. It's kind of where, biggest school district is. It's
The
where
jobs
all the
are.
jobs are, the hospitals here. Maybe that's why people looking for something
The
specifically in
Walmarts
Chillicothe.
or the Lowells
yeah,
are here.
Yeah.
The Hy-Vee.
Yeah, but we just need more housing.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of, I drive around town and I see those distressed properties just sitting around. Don't really know who owns them,
And you're
what
like,
their plans
"Call
are.
us, let's
I'm
sell
like,
that."
call me. Call one of our other agents in our office. We probably have a buyer for it.
Yeah.
Because we do have those investors looking, but. Yeah, I mean, it's something to think about if, you're a person who has some extra money, wants to get into real estate, wants to get into investing, maybe fixing up distressed properties, or even building new duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, apartments. I know Central School is now an apartment complex, and I think that they
Looks
have done
really good.
It
Yeah,
looks
it does.
awesome. They have done a really good job, so I know there's an opportunity for that, and there's plenty of renters.
Yes.
There's plenty
Well, and I
of
was
renters.
gonna just add on, like, sometimes people can't buy,
Yeah.
like maybe they're going through something, personally, or their credit is bad or whatever. Like,
And they're trying to build
sometimes
that.
they can't. So it's like you rent or you're homeless, you
Yeah.
know. So
Right.
yeah, we always need more rentals. And people are like, well, do you think if I bought that, I could get it rented out?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You're gonna have no
Unless
problem.
If it's got a
Yeah.
toilet
Yes.
Yeah.
and a sink that
Yeah.
works, yes, you can
Yeah.
rent it out.
I
And
promise you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even I work with, we work with a bunch of first-time home buyers. Sometimes people will want to buy something. They'll submit their stuff to the lender. The lender will say, well, either they don't have credit or their credit's a little bit too low. Hey, we need to take 6 months or
Yeah.
a year. And the lender will give them
Work
advice,
on it.
pay this stuff off, work on your credit. Maybe in another year they can buy something.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have something to rent in
Yeah.
the meantime.
Yeah.
it also
you know?
helps build that credit because if they have that paper trail of writing a
Yeah.
check each
Yeah.
month on the first of every month and proves that they've paid and haven't been behind,
Yeah.
that's a great way to build that.
Absolutely.
What would you say the average 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, or 800 square foot? What would something like that rent for in Chillicothe?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot. Well, it just depends.
We said average.
Yeah. So I manage a bunch. I would say somewhere in the 2-bed, 1-bath apartment style.
Now, our apartment, our house,
Okay.
800 to 1,000 square foot, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. So, if it's like I have a group of 4 apartments that I manage that are above like a commercial space. Those are a little smaller. Those are 1-bed, 1-bath, but they're all about $525 or so
Yep.
a month for those. So if you add like an extra bedroom onto that, $600 maybe, something like that. If it's a house, you can definitely get more for
Like
it.
800 or something.
Yeah, somewhere between 700 and 800 probably for a 2-bedroom. If it's really nice, like has an attached garage, some nicer amenities, like a good, maybe even a fenced-in yard, or nicer driveway, extra parking, whatever. Maybe a little bit more than that too. Just depends. So
I have 2 listings right now. They're both 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and they are both rented for $500. And we all agree that it's too cheap.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Even the owner's like, "Yeah, no, it's too cheap." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
But
Well-
sometimes whenever you get those nice renters in
Yeah,
there,
they don't tear stuff up, and they
And you
take
let 'em.
care of it.
Yeah,
right.
You just
let them stay
'em.
at that price forever,
Yeah.
and it's going to help you out literally in the end whenever you're flipping houses. I do not have any more rentals because I am not that person anymore. I cannot go back in there and go, oh my gosh, I let you live here for 10 years. And yes, you may have given me money, once a month and paid on time, but this
Typically,
lovely-
they get trashed.
poo show that
Did
you
you
just
ever have
showed
to
me.
evict the poo
Yes.
show?
Yeah, the poo show.
Poo show.
I've got 3 daughters. They will watch this, so we're going to say the poo show, and they're going to giggle. So it's going to be giggles.
Did you ever have to evict anybody?
Yes.
How did that go?
I didn't personally myself
Go
do
in there,
anything
get
like
outta
that.
here.
That was a Matthew thing.
Oh.
Because I'm the good cop, guys.
Oh, I
He
see.
admitted that
Nice
to me
one.
this morning.
Yeah.
And he was like, every time you have to have a hard conversation with somebody, it's always like, would you please do this? Because I can't do it. But I don't actually ask. I pout a little bit, and then
Okay.
it happens. But
Yeah.
no.
Because see, I was thinking about personally buying a rental property in Hamilton,
Okay.
but
So
the
you're
only
wanting me to evict people?
no, the only reason I would even consider it is because I think I know who would rent it, and they want to be there until they die, and they seem like they're good renters.
They're dying
And-
to get inside.
Well, they are dying to get inside. Hey, it's not time to end the show yet. That's how we end this thing. But I guess it's horrible, but
This
yes,
is so good.
they are dying to get inside, I suppose. But anyway, so I just didn't know if you ever had to evict anyone and how that went. The only reason I ask is because the neighbors next door, I've heard through, because, Hamilton, there's
Yeah.
a gossip
You mean
rumor
small
mill.
towns have gossip?
Oh, yes. And groundbreaking stuff here on Broker's Disclosure today. But no, the neighbors next door are getting evicted, and the landlord is having a heck of a time with them. And it's been quite the process.
I do think I've done it once, I think it was the property. We had a triplex. Matt bought it when he was 19 years old, so him and his buddies could live in there, and he could charge them rent or a case of beer.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, 21 years old.
Oh,
Charged them.
uh-huh.
And anyways,
Remember your
these
daughters
boys,
are listening.
yes, yeah, they were 21 and a half.
Okay, perfect.
anyways, these boys lived in there. Once they moved out, the nasty boys, there was a woman who, it was a 2-bedroom, maybe 1-bedroom. Anyways, she paid her rent on time, all the time, sweet as can be on the phone. I end up going in there to evict her because payments got behind. The neighbors were complaining that she was smoking inside. It was not the cleanest place anyways, but anyway, so I had to go in there, and I did have to have the conversation of, sorry, this is done, 30 days, you got 30 days to get out. But she was fine about it, and she was like, well, on what grounds? And I was like, well, there's no pets, you have 3 large dogs.
That'd be a good
no
start.
smoking. You are smoking while you're talking to me and blowing it through the door in my face. Like, stuff like that. But it wasn't, she got out, and that was when I was cleaning that apartment, and I was like, not a landlord anymore. I'm done.
That
Sold
was
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what.
I've also done one eviction, but mine,
It's a little different.
yeah, a little different. Anyway, we won't get into specifics, but anyway, it was crazy. But I did get an attorney, had my attorney deal with it, so I didn't have to do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But we did go to court. The tenant showed up, and she did, instead of having the judge decide, she did agree to give possession back, and then we allowed her like 10 days to get her stuff. So it turned out okay.
A little cordial.
Yeah, it was
towards
more
the end.
cordial than like, you know, having a court order and then them not getting out and then having to get police involved in whatever. So it ended up being
Because don't you
fine,
start the
so.
process with like a certified letter?
Right.
And, hey, here
Uh-huh.
you go, and then
Right.
that starts a 30-day clock or something of that nature.
And if
Correct.
they are not showing any movement, then you have to serve them papers, and the sheriff's deputy will
you
take
know,
it to
I mean,
them.
depending on the situation, if you do, especially for like non-payment or not following the rules and that type of thing, if you're kicking someone out for that, I mean, I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice for you, okay? Because I have my own attorney and I use an attorney for that kind of stuff. But in my experience, it will take about 90 days to get them out. So, you know, take that into
I
consideration.
think bare minimum is like 60, and that's if you have to do that. And you have to document everything. I
Yep.
mean, absolutely everything that they're doing wrong, and what days they did it. And it's ridiculous. But then it's the 30 days of you evicting them, and then it is a sheriff's deputy there on day 30, 31 to serve them those papers, and then squatters and renters' rights in Missouri are...
We better not go squatters' rights today.
No, we don't want to go in that. But I'm just saying, there's some...
But like during
It's
COVID,
difficult.
didn't the regulations and
I don't know.
So
it all switched, like it changed because you couldn't evict people.
you could not, correct,
Yeah.
for non-payment because they couldn't afford it if they didn't have jobs.
Yeah.
But I think that the difficulty with some of them were they would have to make that proof that, okay, I lost my job because we can't go into this brick and mortar anymore because of this.
Right.
But I do think that they had to have some kind of documentation. The ones that didn't, I do believe local landlords, the ones that I had spoken to, had given them, 2 to 3 months of non-payment, which in a landlord's eyes is a lot because
Right.
you're already not getting payment. Your job may have gotten a lot less,
Right.
your other job, and you're then out 2 or 3 months of payment if you have several rentals, like a lot of investors do.
Right.
There's your 3 months of you
Yeah.
can't feed your family.
I didn't have any problems over COVID. Pretty much everyone paid. Of course, I'm managing 22, so I have a couple people that sometimes get behind a couple months, but then they get caught up again. So we have an understanding. But for the most part, I've gotten along pretty well with everyone, especially the ones that I have placed myself and not the ones that I've inherited that somebody bought a property and the person was already there. I don't want to inherit any, but yeah, so I think overall for my clients at least, it's been a great financial decision for them, especially since, they have me to take care of all the problems.
I would agree.
And they just get their check, so.
If they have a Megs attached to that, it's okay. We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So back on the lack of housing.
Yeah.
what is the answer? Like, I don't know that there is one, and because I don't know one.
Right.
And I think part of the issue is it costs so much for a new build. Like, a lot of the people that need housing are like first-time home buyers. They need something that's a little more affordable.
Right.
And it's not out there anymore.
Right.
And I don't know what the solution is. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I know there's a few investors that are just like gonna keep building. That would help. Like, but it's not gonna be anything you're gonna buy. It's just gonna be rentals, which still helps. But I think one of the biggest problems we have as far as housing goes is when I bought my first house, I bought it for $80,000 and it was super nice. And if you go look at an $80,000 house today, it's
They are not super nice.
Yeah. So as a first-time home buyer, you can't even get approved for anything in your
Because
range, or we don't have them.
They won't pass an FHA appraisal.
Yeah. So that's one of another thing that's making more people have to rent is because they literally can't afford to buy. With how high everything is.
Feel like a little bit of it too is expectations from some of these younger buyers in our area, because we don't have the new builds.
Moving ready, freshly updated.
Exactly, and they're like granite
50,000,
countertops,
like,
and we've got $65,000 to spend, and I'm like, okay, well, here is the bucket for you to go potty in. There is a faucet. It's the neighbors. Like, I mean, I don't know what to do with that. There is no answer to that except for teaching them.
Yeah, and just have to take them out and show them houses in their price range and be like, this is it. And they're like, puke. And
Yeah.
And that's just the way
tough.
it is.
The prices are just always tough. Like, and like Ashley said, the expectations, if you're a first-time home buyer, of course, you want to buy a house you can live in.
And you want it to be perfect with absolutely no problems, no issues.
Yes. But ideally, a first home should be a home that's building equity towards your future.
Yep.
Okay? Whether, it might need some paint, some new flooring, update a bathroom.
And if you don't know how to do that, it's fine. You can learn how to do it.
Yeah.
There's this thing called YouTube.
Watch YouTube. Yeah.
And it's great. And it teaches. But I do think that a lot of those kids fear, I'm going to do it wrong. Well, everybody did it wrong once.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a
Nobody
learning
wants
curve.
to do
Not
it.
me. I did it wrong 17 times.
But that first house is not going to be your forever home.
Right.
You're not going to be there forever. If you can buy a home that's, obviously you can live in it, it's safe, it has running water and electricity.
And a bucket.
Yeah. If it has those things and you can live in it, do a little bit of work to it, take care of it. In 3 to 5 years, it's going to be worth more. You sell that house, you make some money, then you have a down payment for a nicer house. And maybe that's not even your forever home.
Yeah.
Maybe you upgrade again in another 5 years after that. Eventually, you're going to find that. But if you can put off buying that fancy, huge mortgage, the longer you can put that off, the better you are. If you own real estate, you're building your equity toward your...
Educate yourself. Like, go talk to a real estate agent or a financial advisor, something, and you have that. So...
I have that conversation a lot as far as, like, okay, like a first-time home buyer, the conversation goes, okay, just remember, this isn't your forever home, so it's not going to be, here forever. However,
our last episode guest came in and got his house. Got his hat. Got his hat.
Hi, Mom.
but they seem to be really hesitant. And I'm like, okay, listen, this is a lot of money that you're spending. If you really aren't feeling it, like, this isn't the one, and you'll know when it is the one. Like, don't, oh, well, it's all right. Like, this is a big commitment, guys. Like, if you don't want it, don't buy it. We'll keep looking. We'll find something, but that's another.
And I think that's so important, like, with the prices they are to now, because everybody's always asking me, and I'm sure they ask you, like, when are the houses going to come down? Well, I don't know, and I don't think they are, but they might. But that's why it's important when you're looking at a house to think, I could be here for 5 years and be fine and ride out a little downturn if that does happen. Not that I think it will, but it might. And so it's very important, like you said, to be like in love with this house. This is it. This is the one I want. And know it from the get-go. Because normally if they walk in and they're like,
I know.
and then they think, oh, well, I'll make an offer. Well, then you know, they'll sleep
Yeah.
on it a couple of nights, and next thing you know, you're doing the home
Yeah.
inspection so you can get out of a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one. We went through the house, and I was like, listen, you're a first-time home buyer. This house has so many problems. Let's not buy this one. We'll find something better. And she put an offer in, and luckily it got rejected because she was like, I got home, and I was like, what was I thinking? I cannot believe that I even offered on that place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
But you're like kind of panic buying,
Yeah.
you know? But luckily, yeah, she ended up finding something better. And with prices right now, another thing that I talk about is if you find something that's not perfect, you have room for improvement,
Yes.
which means when you go to sell, you can say, hey, I updated XYZ, and now you're going to get more out of your home,
Yes.
which helps. Like if, for instance, like the house that I just bought, there is no room for improvement. Like I'm not going to
You know that's
do
where it's at.
anything
Yeah.
else and make it worth more money, you know, but if, and like, so I
But it
had
works
a-
perfect for you
yeah,
guys.
I had a couple who they just got married, bought their first house, and it was a 3-bedroom, and it's got a garage and whatever. But I'm like, this gives you room to grow. If we have babies, you know, you can have them here, and it has stuff you can do to improve it. And when you do decide to sell, you'll make your money back, you know.
Yep, they're just
And then
throwing
you
their
can get
equity.
something, yeah.
The one thing
Bigger, better.
I think I would recommend for some of these first-time home buyers is before even looking at houses and talking to people is going and figuring out not loving the rate, not dating the rate, even just figuring out what their payment is going to be first.
Their payment,
And
not
yes,
what they're
not
approved
what-
for,
Exactly.
what you want your payment to be or what you can afford.
Because when you're shopping around for those lenders, and I say shop around for everything. You shop around for your real estate agent. You shop around for your lender. You know, you shop around for rates. You shop around for everything.
Yeah.
But whenever you are asking the questions for a lender, that if that lender is not giving you what that itemized worksheet is of what your actual payment is going to
Yes.
be, because we had so many, especially during COVID, that they're like, you're pre-approved for $350,000.
Yeah.
This is a 21-year-old couple who are just having a baby. They cannot be house broke at this point in time.
Yeah, they can't
I'm not
afford
going to
that
do that to
mortgage.
them.
Yeah.
And so my first question that I ask them is, what is your payment? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Like, because here's
Yeah.
the other things that are going to be on top of that. You have groceries. Now you've got formula. You've got diapers. Those are things you cannot live without.
Homeowners
You got to
insurance.
feed that baby.
Yeah.
You've got homeowners insurance.
Daycare.
Is that working
Yes.
at daycare? And all of the good things. Fuel.
Yeah.
You've got utilities. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of them are in there going, oh, this is my house payment. That's including the utilities. When you move up from renting and you have
No,
that
ma'am.
nice landlord that paid those utilities for you, you don't have that with home ownership. Is this roof going to fall in on
Yeah.
me? Are the windows, you know, to where my kid's going to get pneumonia?
Yeah.
So,
That's a lot of not fun stuff.
I know. It's called adulting.
I guess so.
I just started last
What
week.
happened to us?
I just started last week and it still sucks.
Wow.
It's, you know, 7 days in and it sucks.
That is a really good point to make, though, is your payment. Ask your payment amount.
Yeah.
I get asked that. I'm like, I don't know. It depends on your interest rate. It depends on the taxes. It depends on your homeowner's insurance. You know, I don't know what boat you're in.
But
right
when
now.
they say they're comfortable even with that payment, like I have to be the bearer of bad news going, listen, you also have
Are
this
you really
and this and this
comfortable?
and this. Yes. Like you have to be comfortable with what if you lose your job tomorrow?
The worst thing is when you sell somebody a house and then they call you like a year later and say, we can't afford this house, we need you to sell it for us. And then they don't have a ton of equity in it, and like trying to run those numbers and see if
It's
you
hard.
can get them get that house sold for what they need to get out of it, even just to pay off their mortgage. That's happened to me, you know, a couple times where life circumstances happen and they're like, we just can't afford it anymore, and that's tough. We never want to try and put a client into that situation.
Agreed.
Well,
So,
during COVID market, because it was crazy,
yeah.
especially 21, I was having to tell people that all the time. Okay, you can only buy this house if you're going to be in it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to sell it in 3 years at the price that you just bought it for. So, great, you got a 2.5%, 3% interest, but you're not making this back out of it. And that's why we're here, is to educate you on how to properly invest in
Well, that's kind of
property.
another thing that, like, a lender would be good to kind of touch base on is your interest rate may be here, but you may pay a little bit lower. Whereas when interest rates were, at like 2 or 3, you're spending X amount thousands over the asking price to even get the house. And it's like, if you do the math, you're actually paying more when your interest rate's lower because it's so much, like the price is so much more.
Right.
But yeah, we should definitely bring a lender in.
Oh, I think we will. I think that's somebody that's got to be on our guest list
for sure.
eventually.
Yeah.
But we also have to do some by ourselves too.
Yeah.
Because
whatever.
there's so much hot hair in here that could float a balloon.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mac.
So I don't know that we solved anything today, did we?
I don't
We
know.
didn't solve anything, no.
We
did
sell houses.
We talk about a housing market shortage.
If you got a house to sell that no one is living in and you're not doing anything with,
Now's
you should
a
call,
great time to sell
You should
it.
call one of us
Don't
because
let
we
them
do
sit
need
and rot.
those. Don't
Yes,
do
that
not
is
let them sit there and
horrible
rot.
on houses.
Do
Just
not.
sit there vacant.
Just sell it.
That is the hardest thing. on
Or
house.
put a tenant in it.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
somebody a place to live.
Yeah.
Make some money off of that
Yeah.
house that's just sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Or fix it up yourself and flip it and you sell it
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
Do something with your property because
I
we
agree.
need
Do
it.
something.
We need it bad.
We do.
Yeah.
If you
These
want to.
tenants are dying to get in.
Right.
It's that time. There's the code word.
That's the code word.
I just thought that fit in so well.
Yeah. So that was episode 4.
Episode 4.
We would love it if everybody came in to join us for episode 5. Is there going to be an episode 5?
Yes.
I think
Are we
so.
cool enough for
Am I
episode
going to be
5?
here for episode 5?
I
I don't know.
Is
Is
Lucy
it
going
gonna
to be
be-
here for episode 5?
She will not be here.
Well,
So
she why not?
she'll be in the world. Well, she's in. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. We're not. This is not a daycare service.
Well, I know.
Mac
but
Daddy's daycare.
I knew that was coming.
She'll be right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Not much different.
We can't have her crying.
Higher.
Mac.
I will take care of it.
It'll be
Okay.
fine.
It'll be fine.
Bo started with us at 3 weeks old. It'll be fine.
2 weeks for the interview. That's why she was hired.
All right, we're done.
Okay, goodbye.
Awesome. Thanks,
Goodbye.
guys.